So, can you tell me about the East India Company and their involvement in India?
Okay. The Company,
East India
East
Company.
India Company was came at the early days, and at first they were just merchants looking for silk, and soon in India they began to grow richer. So soon they had, because of their power, since they were getting more money, they were getting more powerful. So soon they had to buy weapons, because for example someone wanted to like raid the merchant's house, because that's why in all of those merchants' house they had a shotgun at their wall. But so if they were ever raided, they could just defend themselves. But soon, the Indians didn't want the English merchants to be there anymore, because at first they were respecting the culture of the Indians, but as time came, they started to act more English, and they started to treat the Indians differently than they once treated them. So after that, the Indians revolted against them and started raiding all of the houses. But because of the power of those merchants, because they got so powerful, they had a whole English army. Because they were so rich, they could hire a whole army to help them. So soon, once they were being raided, the armies started to come. Once the army came, the Indians started to lose after they attacked the merchants. So once the Indians lost, the merchants became the governors. They became the governors of India. Like, instead of like the Indians ruling themselves, the merchants became their rulers, the English merchants. And once they were in full power, they started telling the Indians to become Christian. They're telling Muslims to shave their beard, and then India was already mad at this, but something made them even more angry. Was the fact that England had bought them new shotguns. Had bought the Sepoys new shotguns. Sepoys were Indians who joined the English government, not government, army, because they wanted to join them. So, for example, they were sent to other countries to fight with the English, and once they came home, most of their friends and family didn't even want to eat with them because they were ashamed of them being related to people who work for the English. And soon, those Sepoys were given shotguns, a new kind of shotgun, where instead of loading the bullet and then loading the gunpowder and then putting the bullet, it would all be in one little what do you call this? One little bag. Parang like a pouch. And then there's like a cap on top. And then they would bite it out, they would spit it out so they could put it in the shotgun. But rumors spread that the caps were made out of cow fat. And they were disgusted by this because cows at the time were very valued and were not meant to be killed. So the Sepoys, along with the Indians, revolted again, and then they start and then the English had 3 other armies to help them fight back. So there was a great war, but the Indian king was 82 years old. The Indian emperor was 82 years old. So he couldn't really fight. He just watched his men fight the English. But soon, they started to lose again because of the English army. And then, one day, the king's palace was raided. And the emperor had not many, he just had his great-grandfather's tomb there at his palace. So what he did, when he was being raided, he hid in his great-grandfather's tomb. He hid in his ancestor's tomb. And then, but it did not work. He was still caught, and his whole life he was being watched by the Englishmen for 5 years until he died. So soon, not soon, after that they just took over. The English took over. So, but Britain intervened and told the English to leave. So once they left, India was now being ruled by Britain. And once they were ruled by the British, all the Indians wanted was to be a free nation, and that's all.
Thank you, Noah.